This video shows you how to fix or repair a riser rail slider, and also how to install or replace the defective riser rail slider with a non-defective one. There are two plausible or probable reasons why your riser rail slider loosely free falls down the rail it is attached to. The first probable root cause is a loosely top-tightened screw that holds the shower head and the rail together. Hypothetically, the plausible cause for the loose screw may be as a result of mechanical wear and tear arising from a lot of traction from usage. So, top tighten the screw down with the aid of a star head screwdriver. And if the riser rail slider still free falls or glides with increased acceleration or little or no resistance, then the probable root cause is the mechanism in the riser rail slider. So you will need to take the riser rail slider apart by torque loosening the screw that holds the rail, the shower head and the riser rail slider. Once loosened, take cognizance or visually inspect the components that make up the riser rail slider, and straight off you can see the first component that comes off in the internal mechanism is the variable diameter coil spring that's cracked into two parts, mainly due to corrosion and mechanical wear and tear. The second component is a larger washer with a larger bore size. Some of the corrosion or the oxidative stress from the spring has latched onto the washer, so you will need to give the poly round ring rubber washer a good clean. The third component is a smaller rubber washer with a smaller bore size. Both washers are not defective, but the integrity of the variable diameter coil spring has been compromised, so it will need to be repaired. So first, I'm going to use sugar soap to get all the gawk, muck, grime, dirt and corrosive debris, from the riser rail slider chrome. Pretty much let the sugar soap seep in, then, give it a good brush to get all the corrosive bits out. Then subsequently, replicate the process for the variable diameter coil spring and salvage, the cracked bits or parts, because we're going to be sticking them together. It is not as difficult or laborious as it seems. You just have to be willing to put the effort in. Not to worry, there is an alternative solution at the tail end of the video if you're struggling to replicate this fix on your riser rail slider chrome assembly. There is a lot of traction with regards to water usage in the bathroom, and over time, water will definitely seep into the riser rail if the screw is loose. And also, when the screw isn't even loose, you'd always have water seeping through, so it's inevitable, okay? When water reacts with the oxygen in the air in the bathroom, you have an oxidation reaction, corrosion or rust, okay? And when you've got rust on your coil spring, that compromises the integrity of the spring, because you can see here that the rust forms the outer coating, and once the iron bits corrode and we strip that away, we've got a thin and feeble coil spring. But it's still functional, it can still be used. I'd rather get all the rust off there than to reassemble the riser rail with the rust in situ on the coil spring. If you can get an aftermarket coil spring, that you do not need to go through the process of trying to revitalize the spring or rework the spring. I have also got some methylated spirit in there, to clean the joints properly. Methylated spirit evaporates, so that would make the riser less prone to corrosion. And then subsequently infused the WD-40 silicone lubricant, to lubricate the parts in the riser rail slider chrome assembly, the springs, the washers, and the riser rail slider housing. So first we installed the smaller washer, and then subsequently the larger washer with the corresponding coil spring into the decoupled riser rail slider chrome. The installation of the second washer should have been sufficient in an ideal scenario, but because the coil's integrity has been compromised, we will be using the second washer as a launch pad or a foundation to fortify the coil spring. So basically, we will be using the washer as a base to secure or fortify the broken bits from the cracked or damaged coil spring. We've given the washers and spring a good clean with methyl, and also we're not going to get, the washers in pristine condition. We've just pretty much given it a good clean and lubricated the washer and spring with the WD-40 silicone. So let's proceed to repair the coil spring using the larger washer. So first, I will be setting up the coil spring in its original position in situ, latched onto the larger washer. And the repair will be carried out using the industrial glue and Loctite, okay? So first, I will be applying some glue on the inner circumference perimeter of the washer. Take care that this glue doesn't stick to your hand because it's got a very high bond strength. Then subsequently, I will be applying some Loctite to get a rigid bond connection to the coil spring. Install the cracked or broken coil spring piece. Then get the other part of the coil to bond on to the broken piece on the base of the washer in its original orientation, just as we have here. If you want it to dry faster, you can use a fan, but this is the result, okay? Or what the original coil spring would look like, excluding the washer. More like an archaeologist putting pieces together in their original positions in situ. And so here comes the tricky bit. We've got two lined groove slots in the white plastic piston. If we assemble the coil spring and the larger washer this way, we will not be able to get, the lined keys on the inside of the mating part onto the lined slots of the riser rail slider chrome. And that's because there is no window to guide the lined keys into the lined slots when torque tightening with the screw. So you might be able to torque tighten with the screw, but you cannot be 100% confident that the line keys have slotted perfectly into them line slots. It doesn't matter if you compress the spring and the larger diameter in the other mating part before you couple the riser rail slider chrome. You would not still be able to get, the line keys into the line slot relatively easily. And there is a 99% chance that if you couple it this way, your riser rail slider chrome assembly will still be free falling. The most effective way to do it would be to disconnect the rail itself from the wall and then subsequently disconnect the riser rail slider chrome by sliding it all the way through the rail until it exits the rail. So here, I will unscrew the black component rail support attachment. This will enable the sliding out or the exit of the riser rail slider chrome. To key both mating parts of the riser rail slider chrome, push out the white piston from the back through the groove of the mating part of the rail slider that supports the rail. Then subsequently, key in the line keys of the mating part that supports the shower head into the line slots of the mating part of the rail slider that supports the rail. That way you get to see when the line keys line up in them line slots. The next step of the process would be to install the riser rail slider chrome onto the rail stainless steel rod. So I am inserting the stainless steel rod through the groove or slot of the riser rail slider chrome, which supports the rail in the vertical position. Then I would be coupling or torque tightening both slider mating parts together using a screwdriver or a drill with its screw bit. So slave the screw into position, then torque tighten. And you can clearly see that the slider rising through the rail offers some resistance, some friction, and it isn't free falling. So we know we've installed it properly because we've got some traction, through the rod, as opposed to, the slider just, free falling through. And so I'm pretty confident that this has been installed correctly. The next step would be to install the stainless steel rod and the riser rail assembly onto its fixtures and supports. Ensure that the top of the stainless steel rod keys onto the upper support. Just key it into position. You should hear a slight audible click into its slotted groove position at the back of the upper support. The next step of the process would be to install the black fixture support component, which supports the rail in the vertical and the horizontal position. Click on the link in the description or at the tail end of the video for how to replace the riser rail slider chrome with a brand new one if you're unable to repair your defective one. And now that the rail fixture and the rail slider installation is complete, we need to test the installation to make sure that it's fit for purpose. And so I have installed the shower head in the rail slider holder using the lines on the tiles as a reference point. So if the rail slider goes below this mark, then it's free falling, okay, after the installation. But if it doesn't, then it holds out. It is robust, and the corrective action with respect to repairing the defective rail slider works, as it hasn't drifted or freefalled past the line of the tile. Subsequently, I will infuse some WD-40 into the riser rail slider, to lubricate the moving parts in its mechanism. Just let the lubricant, seep through the mechanism, as you've got a lot of traction in the bathroom and a lot of water being splashed around, so this would help with corrosion. I have just shown you how to repair your riser rail slider chrome. Click on the shortcut hyperlink in the description. It will take you to the video. Alternatively, you can decide to remove the defective riser rail slider chrome and replace it with a brand new one, or decide to use both the repaired riser rail slider chrome and the brand new riser rail slider chrome. If you want to minimize mechanical wear and tear or movement, traction on the rail slider, suffice to say, you could interchange your shower head on both the repaired rail slider and the brand new assembled rail sliders. If you're a lot shorter than the person you share your bathroom with, you could move the shower head between them rail sliders as opposed to moving or drifting the rail slider on the rail pole. It's pretty much up to you, whatever your preference is. So here I will be showing you how to fit the universal riser rail slider chrome, which is what I've got here. The universal riser rail slider can be adjusted to fit rail dimensions between 18mm and 25mm. So we're going to take the riser rail out of the plastic package. Prior to purchasing your riser rail slider, take cognizance of the tolerance threshold limits. So here I have set my measuring tape to the 18mm lower threshold limit, and we'll be checking that my stainless steel rail pole falls within that tolerance. Subsequently, I have set my measuring tape to the 25mm upper threshold limit value. I've measured that against the stainless steel rail and it falls within that tolerance. So the riser rail slider should fit perfectly. To fit the universal riser rail slider, unscrew the riser to suit the diameter of the rail. If you can't get the rail slider behind the rail stainless steel rod, you may need to uninstall the rail fixtures in order to install it. Then place onto the rail, adjust the height and tighten onto the rail, and then subsequently assemble the riser rail slider, the stainless steel rod and its fixtures as a unit together. You can use both the repaired rail slider and the brand new slider interchangeably if your bath is shared with people with varying heights, or you can use them as standalones. It's pretty much up to you. If your riser rail slider being purchased is to fit your rail, it should measure anywhere between 18mm, which is the lower diameter on the rail, and 25mm, which is the larger diameter. And that's pretty much your installation complete. If you require the use of only the brand new slider, you could slide the repaired one through the stainless steel rod after disassembling the rail and its fixture. Click the shortcut hyperlinks in the description for short clips on how to repair and replace the riser rail, as well as the complete guide. Both rail sliders aren't defective as they aren't free falling after installation, so they've passed the test and I'm pretty happy with the installation. And that's about it really. If you found the information useful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. It helps the channel grow, and hopefully catch up with you later. Goodbye.